I think right now I'm just in this like positive head trip where I don't see things negative like other people do
Right.
now. And I'm trying not to like be negative and like I just want people to see their worth and like especially these kids like
Mhm.
now like
Yeah,
you have a microphone and you're there and these kids are impressionable and like they're going to listen to the shit you say into a microphone.
that is 100% fact.
And
Because
like
we did.
something I always try to say, you'll hear me say it tonight where it's just like, "Hey, you can believe in whatever you want." Like
Mhm.
if you believe in God, that's cool, man.
Right.
That's your trip.
Yep.
If you want to be straight edge, you can be straight edge. If you want to do that, but first you got to think about yourself.
Yeah,
Like you're first. And if you ain't there and you don't love yourself, you ain't going to be able to give anything to anyone else.
exactly.
And that is the most important thing. And I think to go back to the question of like who I am outside of that is like I always want to build my friends up. I always want to
Yeah.
build people up. And
Mhm.
that has always been my like biggest strength and probably my biggest
Greatest weakness,
weakness.
being that rising tide that lifts all the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was, my role in Every Time I Die was always to just when things were funky,
Mhm.
I tried to just stay down the middle and be like, hey guys, like this is the
Right.
importance is like we're driving forward. And
Mhm.
like if we're doing this, we're not driving forward.
Right.
And I think that that's kind of always been who I was. And it's a little bit of people pleasing, again,
It's a
like
smidge. It's a
going
smidge.
back to like
You gotta campaign a
therapy,
little bit, you know?
you realize like, oh man, I give too much. My cup is full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
Mhm.
sometimes I'm at full capacity
Yeah.
and I'm spilling over and that doesn't help
No.
anything.
Well, and one of the things I learned from therapy, it's that being that person, it's kind of I equate it to being the lighthouse,
Yeah.
right? You're guiding all the ships in, you're guiding whether they're broken, whether they need a little bit of assistance, you're guiding all the ships in,
Yeah.
right? And you're stoic in the face of the storm. But at some point in time, that lighthouse needs a lighthouse
Oh,
attendant
yeah,
to
dude.
keep that lamp on,
Yeah.
to clear out the cobwebs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you and I taking that role, like at some
You
point
always were, man.
we have to be appreciate that we have to be
Yeah.
able to crumble for someone else to like help us build back up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's and you don't realize that until sometimes it's too late.
Yeah. And that's again to give
Yeah.
you like some props. It was always like a you go through different areas and it's stagnant. Like sometimes tour is just
Tour.
motion,
Yeah.
right? You're just, and you get to that point where like you get a couple of tough drives,
Mm-hmm.
get a breakdown or something like
Something
that.
weird
And it
happens,
just
yeah.
kind of like it starts kind of eating away your will and you're like, oh man, what are we doing? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then like you get to see a friend like you.
Awesome.
And it was
Appreciate it.
always like,
Yeah.
man, I get to hang with Todd tonight and
Right.
I get to like see him smile. I know he's never going to hit me with like some sort of like negative bullshit.
Never.
Yeah. You know what
Yeah.
I always think of like us going to get full and like taking that picture after and just being like, yeah, this is my friend.
Yeah.
This isn't like a guy that like I'm going to a hardcore show with.
No.
Like this is my boy. And like I said, like and I have numerous friends like that
Mhm.
always kind of like charge my battery.
Yeah.
And that was you always were a person that like charged my battery. And like, just so
I
you know
appreciate
that.
that.